Since 1985, the Community Foundation has weathered many storms. They are here for our local nonprofits, donors, and the permanence of Abilene. As COVID-19 ramps up in this community on this Giving Tuesday, the Community Foundation asks you to consider donating to a local nonprofit. They could really use your gift. We'll get through any upcoming uncertainty together. Now here to give us their annual update for the Community Foundation of Abilene is President and CEO Katie Alford.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Community Foundation of Abilene's annual update of 2020. My name is Katie Alford and I'm the President and CEO of the Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization that manages endowment funds and makes grants to other nonprofits in our community and beyond. Our format for this year's annual luncheon, like many other community and fundraising events, looks a little different this year, but we are excited about the program we have for you. Today, you're going to hear from our board chair, Jeff Blanks, who will kick off the status and update of our organization, and then from a few nonprofits that many of you are familiar with. At the end of our program, we are excited to share a new campaign that we hope will inspire you to think about the charitable causes and nonprofits you care about, reflect on how this year might have affected them, and consider how you can help them withstand any obstacles in the future. This is a campaign that will make philanthropy accessible to anyone and will point us to a better tomorrow after this monumental year. Before we kick off our program, we want to show you a little bit about our organization and to introduce you to our mission.
The Community Foundation of Abilene was established in 1985 by a group of individuals who believed that the work that can be accomplished by the whole could be greater than the sum of its parts. The idea that a community of donors can accomplish more collectively than individually. Our inception is credited to the Dodge Jones Foundation and Mrs. Judy Matthews. Their initial gift of $500,000 to begin an endowment is still felt by nonprofits in our community today. The mission of the Community Foundation is to empower people to make a lasting charitable impact on our community. We connect donors to the causes they care about, manage strategic investments to preserve our endowments, make grants that align with donor intent, respond to community needs, and provide philanthropic leadership to enhance Abilene's future today. Our vision is a thriving Abilene endowed forever. The very nature of endowments, permanence, is our assurance of a strong, enduring commitment to serve Abilene and our communities forever. The power of endowment is simple. When a donor makes a charitable gift to establish a fund, the CFA invests the gift so the fund can grow. Grants are made each year from the earnings to area nonprofits, and the process repeats itself for everlasting impact. A fund has the potential to grant out more money over time than the amount of the original gift. Abilene is a generous community. Nothing has proved that more than what we have observed from our community in the past few years. The Foundation is a culmination of people who care about this community and want to see it thrive for years to come.
Welcome to the 2020 annual update for the Community Foundation of Abilene. My name is Jeff Blanks, and I have the privilege of serving as the chairman of the board of directors. The foundation was established in 1985 with the help of local leaders and a generous grant of $750,000 from the Dodge Jones Foundation to cover operational expenses and to begin an endowment. The goal was to provide a platform for individuals to establish endowments that would have a long-lasting charitable impact in our community. The Foundation's first year of grants totaled $18,000 and were distributed to 11 nonprofit organizations. Since then, the Foundation has grown exponentially, with assets totaling more than $138 million at the end of our fiscal year on June 30th. We were able to grant out over $8 million this past year, which makes the total grant distribution since our inception well over $120 million. The Foundation is able to grant these dollars because of philanthropically minded donors who set up funds to benefit charitable causes and organizations that align with their personal intentions. The Foundation currently manages over 500 endowments. These endowments are created to operate in perpetuity so that the benefits can be seen long after a fund is established. We do this by making strategic investments to preserve our endowments with the goal of growing them, which inherently results in increased distributions to nonprofit organizations. Endowments are designed to grant out 4% of the fund balance annually to nonprofit organizations so that the original gift amount can continue to grow. Ultimately, an endowment will end up granting out more than the initial gift amount while continuing to grow the fund balance. While a one-time gift is a great way to support nonprofits' immediate needs, the gift of endowment is the opportunity to support an organization forever and preserve our donors' legacies. Endowments are a wonderful way to provide reassurance and stability for our nonprofits. Our mission is to empower people to make lasting charitable impact on our community. We believe in the power of endowment and its ability to provide enduring financial support for nonprofits. Our vision is to see a thriving Abilene endowed forever. To learn more about our impact in our annual report, be sure to check out cfabilene.org/2020. Now here's Katie to give us a status of the foundation.
The foundation is the culmination of people who care about this community. We awarded over $8.8 million to area nonprofits this past year. These grants come from funds we manage that were set up by people who want to make a long-lasting charitable impact in our community. I'd like to give you a quick snapshot of these different types of funds and how the grant making works through each type. Donor advised funds. These funds allow the donor to recommend which grants they'd like us to make from their funds throughout the year. Unrestricted funds. These funds have no restrictions. The donor has given the foundation the flexibility to grant out money to community needs as they arise. We have a grant application process and a grant committee that selects the recipients. Field of interest funds. These are similar to unrestricted funds, only they're for causes in specific fields like arts and culture, human services, children and youth, or animals. Designated funds. These funds are designated to benefit and make grants to a specific nonprofit organization each year. A designated fund can be established by a donor or a group of donors, or it can be established by the nonprofit itself as a way to create a lasting source of income for the organization. Scholarship funds. These are the funds from which we award college scholarships to area students based on the criteria that the donor wants placed on the award. Something we've started offering over the last several years to allow the community the chance to be involved in grant making is our online grant catalog. We publish the final slate of grant requests online that we receive through the unrestricted grant process, and anyone in our community can make a gift of as little as $10 to support those specific projects. We're also proud of what our membership groups accomplished during this last fiscal year. Future Fund is a membership-based endowment fund that benefits local children and youth. It's just $250 a year for an individual or a couple to become a Future Fund member. Those membership dollars are pulled into an endowment fund, and grants are made each year from that endowment to nonprofits serving children in our community. Since its inception in 1995, the Future Fund endowment has grown to over $776,000. Our second membership-based group is our Friends of the Community Foundation of Abilene. Membership dues from our friends support our operations. It only takes $200 to become a friend of the foundation. Our friends contributed almost $50,000 towards our operations this past year and have contributed more than $870,000 to our operations since they were established in 2002. While we are proud of the contributions we manage through endowments, scholarships, and membership groups, we want to recognize an event that truly united our community into a force for good this past year, Abilene Gives. The May 5th event could not have been more timely for local nonprofits as a dark cloud of uncertainty swelled over us this spring due to COVID-19. Darkness did not stop this community. In the darkness, the light of hope pierced despair. We saw great resilience. We saw people step up in admirable and humbling ways. From the record-breaking performance of Abilene Gives, which raised and dispersed over $1.3 million to 142 area nonprofits, to the establishment of the Support Abilene Fund, which helped with COVID-19 relief dollars for the nonprofits, our donors and supporters showed up in unparalleled ways. Let's hear from 3 nonprofits that were profoundly affected by the overwhelming generosity of our donors through Abilene Gives, Support Abilene Fund, and other grants made from our various funds now.
The Abilene Zoo is one of the #1 attractions at Abilene. We have approximately about 16 acres of walkable area that our guests can see the animals and explore, as well as being developed back in 1966. So the zoo's been here in Abilene for over 54 years. If the Abilene Zoo wasn't here, obviously that would be a huge loss for the economy. We bring in approximately about 250,000 guests every year. Out of that 250,000, about 120 of them are tourists from outside the big country area. And with that contribution comes a lot of great revenue. The zoo also offers that attraction where families can come and have a great time. They can not only have that great experience with an up-close encounter such as the giraffe, but memories. You know, one of the biggest things that we had happen back in March was the COVID outbreak. We had to shut our doors. And so because of that revenue loss, we had to think outside the box. How can we pay for the animal feed? How can we pay for the labor? The best contribution came from Abilene Gives. You know, we were even thinking outside the box. Do we have to take a loan? Do we need to find another financial resource? And then Abilene Gives came, and we were able to tell our true story, which is we're down revenue because of the closure of the pandemic, and we need your support. And Abilene Gives knocked it out of the park. We were thinking maybe $10,000, $20,000 in giving. $50,000 came to Abilene Zoo, and that was a huge weight off of my shoulders, off my staff's shoulders, to ensure that we were going to have those funds to help sustain the great grocery bill for these animals here in the Abilene Zoo.
We were having a year. We were having the best year financially we've ever had. Everything just looked great. And then March happened, and the last place people are going to go during a pandemic is a performing arts center or a theater. So we shut down, and we were shut down for many, many, many months. And to be frank, it was scary because you still have to pay the light bill. You still have to keep going. But our bread and butter, being open, selling tickets, having people come inside and buy popcorn, none of that was happening. And it ceased for about 1/3 of a year. It was dramatic looking at it in paper form. But then something else happened, and that was Abilene Gives. And we went from making $5,000 to, I believe, $17,000. We had mailed out membership requests. Those kept coming in. People wanted to be members of the Paramount. We kept putting names up on the wall. So it was a combination of depression that we were closed and that we couldn't do what we love. And then it was absolute elation. I remember that night of Abilene Gives, I wanted to stay up and see how we did. And I sat down at the edge of the bathtub so that I wouldn't wake my wife, and I kept hitting refresh on my phone. And I looked down there and I saw the final number and saw that it was closed for the night. And I'm a grown man and I shed a tear too, because it just felt amazing to see that many people give a donation to this theater. So we're happy to be here. We're happy to be showing movies. They're not making money like they used to. But lucky for us, people have come to the rescue. And people think this place ought to be around for the next generation or the next 90 years. You apply for an emergency grant from the CFA. That check comes in. You open the check. And it just takes the weight off your shoulders. I don't even want to imagine Abilene without the Paramount. It was my favorite place before I came here to work, and it will be my favorite place when I'm no longer working here. This place is a gem, and it needs to be part of Abilene's identity.
So many of the people that we serve are living alone and have very little contact with anyone other than the volunteer with their meal. And because of COVID, a lot of those people that did have someone else coming in, that has stopped. One of the concerns that Meals on Wheels has had and continues to have, because we're still going through this COVID situation, is what we would do if we had to close the doors. We've not been able to come up with a backup plan. I've made contacts with a couple of places to see if they could provide meals for our clients for a couple of weeks, like the hospitals and some other places. And because of the large number of meals that we provide, they're not able to help. They would not be able to pick up and carry meals out for us. In March, when we were faced with COVID-19 and we were considering the fundraising events that we had scheduled for the rest of the year, that was pretty a difficult decision to make. We decided that we needed to cancel all of those fundraisers. That was very scary. We have a $2.4 million budget, and about 60% of that comes from fundraising events and donations from individuals, from foundations, in businesses, church groups, service clubs, and others. And so to lose all the money from those fundraisers, which we estimated about $400,000, was going to be very, very hard to replace. We were very pleased that the Community Foundation of Abilene stepped up and had a plea for donors to contribute to help local nonprofits navigate the COVID. And the response to that was amazing. And the application process for nonprofits was very, very simple. It was easy, and almost immediately we got some money. Then the Community Foundation, I understand, was kind of deciding whether we're going to have Abilene Gives this year. They took a step in faith, they did it, and the donors were amazing. We got more money from Abilene Gives than we have in the whole history of Abilene Gives. And it was such a blessing, and it helped us get through that bad time. The Community Foundation of Abilene, the donors, people have responded, and we've been able to keep our doors open this whole time and get meals out there to needy people. We're starting to see the light. We're not sure what's at the end of the tunnel. It was a very dark time. We're coming out of the darkness and into the light, and it's amazing. It's been wonderful. As we go forward, we're trusting that people will understand that we're really here meeting a basic need and want to be a part of this program.
Listening to the stories of tribulations that lay before the Paramount, the Zoo, Meals on Wheels, and numerous organizations this year, I want you to also see the ray of hope and triumph made possible only by our community and our donors who remain committed to see a thriving Abilene endowed forever. As more and more people step up, we want to present a new initiative called Leave 5 that may ensure the longevity and support the foundation of local causes and nonprofit organizations. Almost anyone can leave 5% of whatever they have at the end of their lives to charitable causes they are passionate about. Committing to make the pledge today will ensure these organizations are here tomorrow as the sun sets on this monumental year.
We're leaving 5. So we think it's important that people just, period, be generous. I remember when I was growing up, my father, who had a return to faith later on in my life, decided the first year of his return to faith, he brought in a young boy from a local children's home to share Christmas with us. And at first I wasn't really excited about the whole idea. We were just a fairly low income, middle class family, and I thought, we're not going to get as much of the Christmas pie, that kind of stuff. And I remember the joy that we had in our family. It was the best Christmas we ever had as a family. And it put something inside of me that there really is a joy tied to giving. And it stuck with me. And so for all of our life, we as a family, as Jeanette and I established our family, we have made giving as a part of that. And as we look now, I guess we're a little bit older and we're looking into life matters as well. We do have a will and we have an estate, not much of an estate, but we have an estate. Yeah, estate's an iffy term. But we have built in there that we're leaving money. There's just joy. And what motivates us, to be honest, is the joy we receive in seeing people's lives that are touched and changed, and knowing those stories, and to think that even after we pass on from this life, that things that we were a part of can still be changing people's lives.
I'm very, very passionate about foster children, that we were, and I guess post-adopt, so we were foster parents and now post-adopt, and very passionate. So the child placing agencies, New Horizons, we've given to CASA, where I'm a huge part. I'm actually the sitting president of court-appointed special advocates, which oversees foster children, that it puts a volunteer with a foster child. But that's my passion.
Yep. So we've been very much part of Pregnancy Resources of Abilene.
Since day one.
We were actually at the event that founded, we were college kids, and we were at the event that helped, the prayer event that ended up being the foundation of what's now Pregnancy Resources of Abilene. And since we've moved back from our college days, we've been actively a part of that, both financially. Again, I've been on the board. Our church is very much a part of that. So that is one of the local causes, but we have churches, we have partnerships all around the world that we are personally a part of right now. Our church is a part of, and those are actually built into our plan afterwards. We find great joy in that. And people have discovered that we are more blessed when we give than when we receive. That's Jesus said it. People quote it. They just often forget Jesus is the one who told us about it. And I love seeing people have the opportunity to know the blessing of that. I want my kids to know it. So believe it or not, our state is set up differently. We actually give our money to our kids, and our kids have to give it. And so they have to give it. So
it's written in the will.
It's written in the will. They have to give, but they have some flexibility, some choice, because we want to impart to them the joy that comes with giving as well. And so we want these wonderful entities that we have in our community, and they are awesome. They're right in the midst of the battle, and it's a ugly, hard, difficult world. And we've got people who are laboring in it so intensely and so lovingly, and so when we just want to be a part of that now. But when we pass on, we want that to continue on. And as long as this world exists and that need exists, we want to have entities like we have in this town. And so that's why we're giving to it. If you're wondering how you would leave 5, where you would leave it to, I think you just got to start listening. I'm pretty confident God has placed within each of us, we see things that move us. And some things just move us more than others. So all I would do is encourage somebody to be open to the idea and say, if you'll let your heart be stirred, you'll find what it is. And it can be a wide variety of things. What would I tell somebody who thinks that like their gift is not enough? Yeah, welcome to the club. I mean, that's just, yeah, compared to some others, it doesn't seem like a lot. What I'm having compared to what Bill Gates is giving away doesn't seem like much. It's what I have. And I'm called to be responsible. We're called to be responsible with what we have. And we're going to be responsible, and we're going to let God take care of the rest. He's going to take it, He's going to multiply it. He has a great way of taking little things and multiplying it to great effect. And we would encourage people that trust God, that He's going to take whatever your little bit might be, the 5% you leave, the 10% whatever you leave, He's going to take it and multiply it into changing lives and really doing something for the sake of our community.
We're leaving 5. So what cause are we passionate about? So families, we've been married a long time, and we know how important family is. And so families and education, really the true equalizer, and those youth that are at risk.
Sure, and I'm passionate about education of young children. I love to be a light in their lives. Being able to encourage them every day just means a lot. I think what would inspire me to leave 5 is just being able to give back. We've been blessed a lot in our lives, and just be able to give back and to help others. Because at any point, we never know when we would need the help. And so I just think it's important when you can to give back.
Lynetta and I both are from this community, and we had very humble beginnings in this community. But all through our lives and through our marriage, there have been individuals and organizations that have really been a blessing to us. And what encourages me is I want to extend that blessing. I want to be able to leave back pieces and parts so the next generation will benefit like we have benefited from the sacrifice of those who come before us.
The next 50 to 100 years, I hope that I left a legacy of hope, faith, and love, and especially love. I love to give love to children. I love to be a light to other people. So I hope that I left a legacy of love.
Abilene is such a great community, but it just happens by osmosis. There have been leadership and sacrifices from individuals since the very beginning in 1883 that have given and laid the foundation. And I would like to be one of those leaders, one of those families that gave back to our community. So in 100 years from now, people look back at our family and others and know that not only that we appreciate the sacrifice of those who came before us, but in a monetary way, we made an investment back in this community that now perpetuates itself.
I would think that giving 5%, it is enough. If we all contribute, we all come together, 5% is enough. It makes more and more, so every little bit counts.
You know, and when you're a team, some team members may have the ability to give more, but their more is not more than what you may have given. It takes all of us. And so from a team perspective, encouraging everybody to give what they can for the express purpose of just elevating this community. In fact, we even talk about as a family, in lieu of getting those socks and ties for Christmas, you know, that perhaps maybe during that time, part of our love expression can be a monetary gift back to the Community Foundation every year.
Leave 5 is for anyone. We hope it inspires you to think about the causes you care about and consider how your favorite organizations weathered this year and how this could help them in the future. Leave 5 is a campaign that will make philanthropy accessible to anyone and will point us to a better tomorrow. We want to thank you for joining us for this year's annual update. As we part ways, make sure you check out our Community Foundation website at cfabilene.org or our Leave 5 website at leave5.org to see how you can get involved. Now let's meet some community members who have decided to leave 5 and will hopefully inspire you to do the same. Have a great afternoon.
We're leaving 5 for Abilene.
We're leaving 5.
We're leaving 5.
Estoy dejando 5 para apoyar a estudiantes que desean hacer una diferencia con su vida.
We're leaving 5.
We're leaving 5.
I'm leaving 5.
We're leaving 5.
We're leaving 5.
I'm leaving 5.
We're planning to leave 5 for this little guy.
And the future of Abilene.
I'm leaving 5.
We're leaving 5.
Lastly, the short and long-term effects of COVID-19 are significant on our community, particularly for our most vulnerable residents and area nonprofit organizations. Therefore, please continue to give generously to our local nonprofits so that they have the resources necessary to respond, or consider making a donation to the Community Foundation's Support Abilene Fund at cfabilene.org.